You're tuned in to the Vance Alumni Show. Today's special guest is a 2011 graduate, Khallid Love. How you doing, Khallid?
Good. How's it going?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Khallid, tell us a little about yourself.
I graduated from Vance in 2011, and I'm a rising senior currently at Princeton University, and I'm a math major with a certificate in African American Studies.
Now, you got a full academic scholarship, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's incredibly impressive. Ivy League student right here from Vance High School. What do you remember from Vance?
I remember a lot of things. It was a very productive place. It was a very fun place. And I mean, just the people, the teachers, the fun classes that I took, and some of the activities we did. It was, looking back, Vance was a very, very, very happy place for me. It was.
Great to hear. If you had any advice for our students here at Vance that are getting ready to graduate, what would that advice be?
I would say keep striving for excellence. I think, as students take the next step, whether that be college, whether that be getting a job, whether that be, whatever the case may be, always strive for excellence. Always seek out alliances and always, try to be the best that you can be.
All right. I'm back here with Princeton student Khallid Love, Vance alumni. I've been following you on Facebook a little bit. And I don't have students on my Facebook, but once people graduate and they, get in touch, and I don't mind being a Facebook friend of them. I've seen you just done some incredible things. First, I want to talk though about your classes. What classes are you taking?
So I'm a math major, so basically I take all math classes, but I also take African American Studies classes as well. I'm pursuing right now a certificate in African American Studies, and so basically all this year I've just been taking a combination of mathematics courses, African American Studies courses, so that's sort of been my academic schedule.
Oh, that's great. I do remember you having a solid A in my class, and remember you being a very good student. What African American Studies classes, because that's my interest as well, what African American Studies classes have you taken?
I've taken quite a few. I took a class freshman year on literature from the Harlem Renaissance to the present. I took a class on history and Reconstruction. I took a class actually recently this semester on black music. I took a class on the urban city. And so the
cool.
African American Studies department has a lot of really cool African American Studies classes to take. So they're really fun.
Do you guys go on any, like, out in the field, any trips or?
No, yeah, actually, yeah. My city narratives class that I took this past semester, we actually went to Harlem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We're just doing the Harlem Renaissance now, so
Okay.
that would be really cool to actually go to Harlem. So.
Yeah. We went to Harlem for a class field trip, and we went to this museum on, Harlem art and sculpture, and it was really cool.
Oh, great. We do have a couple of pictures. Amante, we're going to go through some of these pictures. What's this first picture that we're looking at here?
So this first picture is one of the stands. So when my class went to Harlem, we basically took an excursion through Harlem and looked at the city life, street life, went to some shops and whatnot. This picture is one of the kiosks that we stopped by, just strolling through one of the sidewalks in Harlem, and it has a lot of incense and oils and stuff like that, and it's sort of one marker of that Harlem tradition, Harlem culture that we've seen sort of throughout history and stuff. So very Afrocentric.
Is it like so the incenses and oils and things, they've been in this store for a long time, or?
Well, yeah, one of I guess you can say maybe an idiosyncrasy about Harlem is the street shops that it has, and
right.
You learn a lot about Harlem through just walking. And this is one of sort of the street shops that Harlem has had for decades. And so it sort of is an embodiment of that culture and that history that we normally associate with Harlem.
Oh, cool.
This was actually inside the museum. This is a picture of the Richard Pryor masks from the movie The Wiz. And I thought it was kind of interesting how, his head is sort of on the ground, right? So sort of this discourse on like power relations, and it was really cool.
How big is this mask?
How big is it? Oh gosh, it's bigger than me.
Oh,
So I think long way it's about, I'd say about 10 feet at least.
Okay,
At
wow.
least 10 feet. This picture is very weird because when we went through, when we toured the museum, they have like a lot of art on the walls, and this picture, it's weird because I'm not really sure what to make of it. I remember our tour guide; she really was kind of confused about it too. But
well, you didn't have a very good tour guide then.
we really did. We really did. And it was most of the interpretation was left up to us.
Well, hey, that can be fun too.
Yeah.
If you have a good group that you could just talk about stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And art's so subjective, so.
Right. So.
Wow, that's colorful. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it looks really, it's really interesting to look at.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think this was probably for me one of the most interesting photo collages at the museum because, like you said, it's very colorful. But I think also too, it's sort of it speaks to sort of the Afrofuturist aesthetic that the museum basically is sort of talking about. Should I talk about Afrofuturism again?
Afrofuturism. I'm not. Explain to our listeners
Right.
kind of what Afrofuturism is.
Yeah, so Afrofuturism basically is it's a discipline, and I think a lot of times when we talk about blackness and we study blackness, we study it from a historical perspective, but Afrofuturism is sort of invested in looking at blackness from a futuristic perspective.
Is it more positive than the past perspective, or is it because sometimes there's a negative connotation that people attach to, like if say somebody's acting black or something, there's like a negative connotation to that.
Right.
Is the futurism different than that, or is
It's different. I think what Afrofuturism does, it leaves open, the realm of possibility. And so Afrofuturism is really about imagination and creativity and imagining, a new type of blackness.
right? So if somebody says you're acting black, you could say thank you.
Right. And so it's a
Right.
very interesting formulation. And it's a very different formulation that we normally are accustomed to seeing. And so this is sort of an experiment in that sort of discipline, just with the colors and sort of even just how you're imagining black people in space, which is something that we don't normally talk about.
Right.
That's another sort of central theme in Afrofuturism, and that was one of the central things that the museum really sought to pin down.
Cool. What we were just talking about, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. Are there any assumptions, you being a African American from Charlotte, North Carolina, attending Princeton, do you run into any assumptions as far as academics goes?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple of times. I've had people come up to me and ask me, if I'm an athlete, they've asked me what sport do I play. And so I guess they assume because I'm a black male at an Ivy League school that I'm only there because of athletics.
Right. And academics is
right, academics
just not
is
the first thing that comes to people's mind.
Exactly. And so, I don't really think a lot about it. I know that's something that just comes with that type of culture. But I am aware that that's something that is a reality for not only me, but for other black males on campus as well.
Cool. Okay, there's another image up.
Yeah, so this image is also one of my favorite because I think it really is the most emblematic of Harlem as a city because I think this is it's a collage of T-shirts and it has a lot of different things on the T-shirts. Has people's faces, it has a lot of the history, a lot of the artwork, and I really think it speaks to just that Harlem culture. I think when you talk about Harlem culture, we talk about it's seeped in a lot of history and racial a lot of these racial narratives, and so and I think this picture really is powerful because it talks, or I guess it speaks to the diversity of Harlem as a city. It speaks to how Harlem is it's a cosmopolitan space, right?
Yeah.
It's a very worldly space. It's a very diverse place with a lot of, it's a melting pot basically, right?
And when I see collage and I hear Harlem, I can't help but think, ironically, to go to Romare Bearden, which is from Mecklenburg County, and
yes.
move to Harlem. You think collage, just like Bearden comes to your mind. Did you talk about that, about Bearden being from Mecklenburg County, or?
We didn't actually. No.
Yes, since you've left, we've got like a Romare Bearden Park downtown, and Afro-American Cultural Center's moved to the Harvey Gantt Center. I think that was happening right when you were graduating.
I think so. Yes.
So,
yes.
Really cool. Khalid, thank you so much for telling us about school, about Princeton and everything. We've had a lot of students go on from Vance and be successful. I don't know if we've had many with a full ride to a Ivy League school. You're among the elite of the elite that has ever attended this school. So it's an honor for you to come back and take time out of your busy schedule to be here on TVance Alumni Show. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be back here.
All right.
Thank you.